Hello and welcome to Final Whistle Weekly, the podcast that gives you all the facts. Yes, that 500,000 championship striker that's coming to us in January is Cristiano Ronaldo. Yes, one of my two guests today, will it be Andy Parkinson? Will it be Chay has bathed with a Wrexham international legend. And yes, I haven't got a third one, really. Oh, man.
Sure, we could do this one.
I think that's all right, isn't it? Oh, now Andy's going to complain about me. Nightmare. We'll be talking about the Wrexham games and we'll do that Mount Rushmore thing as well. This is Final Whistle Weekly. Well, last Saturday didn't go right, did it?
No, it didn't. Just before we start this, I had a good few pints for watching this game, so I wasn't quite as annoyed as everyone else was after the game. So my view on the game is probably a little bit different to everyone else's, because I was probably, to be fair, before the game, I was probably expecting us to not get a result. But in all fairness, Andy, it wasn't the greatest performances either, was it?
No, we can play better than that. I don't think that's outrageous to say.
How
It's
dare
just
you?
disappointing. Really.
That was peak Wrexham, that was.
It's just Stockport, wasn't it? We don't like losing to Stockport.
True enough. True enough. I'll tell you what, thinking about what Chay said then about, not being as disappointed as he could be for certain obvious reasons. I was really shocked after the final whistle that the Stockport press really didn't see that game as I saw it. They were like, oh, thank goodness we got through that. Oh, thank goodness we managed to get the win. They were really edgy the last 25 minutes or so when we did turn things round a bit. I got to be honest. I mean, yeah, of course, we could have got a goal back, couldn't we? But we were very lucky to be in a position to only be one goal behind at that point, I thought, really.
That was my feeling, that we should have been buried by Stockport. And it's just disappointing, They talk about rivalries with Notts County and such likes, but Stockport is the one to win, isn't it? At this level now.
If you can be buried by Stockport, can you be Stockported by Bury?
I didn't think of that.
I'm just waiting to be Preston by Blackburn. That's going to be horrible.
I personally don't see us. I think us and Stockport is a big game because of, the last few seasons. We've won the few in the National League we've had, and of course last season I've always seen Stockport as a club that I quite liked growing up. Quite a friendly club. I think they seem to dislike us a little bit more than we dislike them. But to be honest, I'm not overly worried. Yes, I think we should probably talk about not starting Mullin. Mark, what's your real thoughts on that, really? Because I was quite excited before the game to see two target men at front, to see how that would work, but it didn't really click, did it?
My question to respond to that is: did it not click because of those two players, or because after the first 5 minutes or so, we didn't get a lot of great service to them? We were very deep, and our midfield were deep, and we weren't really in positions to build up the pitch and give them something to work with. I thought in the first 5 minutes, they won like 3 headers in and around the Stockport box, and they were doing really well. And then we retreated back into our shell a bit, which I say this all the time, but I don't think for a second Parkinson wants us to do this. It's just that in certain circumstances, that's what players do when they feel under pressure. And I thought we did that. I like the look of both of us on. I think he's a good striker. Well, he is obviously a good striker, but I think that when he's fully up to speed, he could do a good job. I fancy him staying for the rest of the season, not just till January. But
no, it wasn't me knocking Bavardson at all. I'm not saying that. It was more the fact of do we need a Mullin with Budvarsson? Maybe try that, or do do you get what I mean? They're both
Yeah,
not the
yeah.
most mobile of strikers, are they?
I think Budvarsson can move. I think he can run the channels more. I know he's not in the same style as
He's not
Mullin.
Marriott, is he?
No, not at all. But I think they could work together. I don't know. It's a tricky one with Mullin because I would argue his performances have been decent. His movement's really good. It's just he's missing chances. You could argue the best thing to do is keep him on the pitch and he starts taking chances because I have no doubt that he'll come back and play an important role for us this season at all. It's just when will that happen? But then on the other hand, I can understand Phil Parkinson thinking, well, we need goals in the short term. We can't write off a section of the season until he's up to speed. Let's see what these two have got together. My gut feeling is he may have Mullin back in on Saturday, personally. But yeah, I think it was worth having a look at the two strikers, and I wouldn't rule it out as a partnership because, like I said, I don't know, they didn't get enough to work with. I wouldn't say.
Yeah,
Mullen just hasn't been hitting the target at the moment.
Yeah,
We all know he's a good player. We all know he can. His movement and his work rate is brilliant. He's just missed lots of chances. It's not him.
yeah, and it'll come. I mean, you'd be worried if he wasn't getting into those positions and you never saw him in and around the box, but it'll come for him. Um, and let's hope it comes in our nice triple header next week because we need to hit some form by then. One thing that we were fretting about before the game, but that didn't feel so bad afterwards, of course, is losing a Conquo because Callum Burton was
yeah,
sensational, wasn't
yeah.
he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had big boots to fill with the Conquo, being injured. But after, to be fair, I've seen him in the Salford Cup game and the other cup games.
Yeah.
He looks like a solid pair of hands, in all fairness. And you think a keeper of that quality who has come down from Plymouth fans were really, really positive about him. You'd always think maybe he would be the cup keeper as well. He's got that much of quality. A tremendous second goalkeeper. And if he carries on performing like that, then he's going to be pushing Conco for that number one spot. That was probably the biggest positive, I think, throughout the whole game is how well he played, really.
I'm trying to remember if I said last week about him at Port Vale, his handling, because he's both metaphorically and literally a safe pair of hands. That Patton guy who plays for Port Vale has got a hell of a clean strike on him when he hit three fantastic shots, one of which went just wide, one of which was really well blocked, and one of which was too straight. You'd expect Burton to save it, but the way he held it impressed me, even though it was pretty much straight at his throat. So it came straight at him, but it was so well struck that to just casually catch it, I thought, good hands, mate. And like you say, he's shown already this season he looks decent. That Sheffield United game, remember his debut? He let 4 goals in. But wow, he was brilliant. He couldn't be blamed for him. Saved the penalty. So he's clearly not scared of the big occasion. So Parkinson's recruited well there, and I've said this before as well. I'm a real fan of Luke McNicholas, who seems to be doing well for Rochdale on loan. So the goalkeeping's really in. Wait for it. Safe hands.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm here all week. Please tip your waitress. The
I just caught that remark.
Oh, please. That is shocking. That is. I was like, you see me playing goal, Andy. I wouldn't have caught that remark. I'd have let it through my legs. Nightmare. Speaking of goalkeepers, though, yeah, their keeper Hinchcliffe was kind of unemployed. I thought they may have a weakness that they had 2 wing backs who were coming off long-term injuries, but they lasted well into the last 10 minutes, and we only really got going when we made that triple change. I thought O'Connell made a big difference, and not criticising Scar. I thought looked all right defensively, but O'Connell's ability to bring the ball out and to pass the ball ambitiously, I think immediately upped our level and made us more threatening to them personally.
I have mixed
Yeah,
feelings
a
about
lot of people
Scar, whether
were.
he's 100% or not, but he seems to do a decent job. I've got nothing to say he's not a bad player, but is there a bit more in the tank?
A lot of people in the place I was watching it with said that why are we bringing on a centre half when we're chasing the game? But for me, uh, I think putting O'Connell on is actually quite sensible in a lot of regards because it could be, even though he's a centre half, it could be an attacking substitution because he's really good at bringing the ball forward. He's a better, I'd say, I'm not saying Scar's not good on the ball, but I'd say O'Connell's really good on the ball for a centre half. Look at that Notts County run in that famous game. He's got that in him, isn't he? So yeah, I've seen a few criticisms of that, and I actually could see where Phil Parkinson was coming from in that regard. But looking at the game as a whole, Mark, I think 1-0 away from home against Stockport. If you would have seen that before the game, you wouldn't have been crazily surprised, I suppose. I know we're a good side, and we're not obviously going to be looking to. We're going to be trying to win every single game or get a positive result, but Stockport away from home is a really, really tough game. And, we even though they were the much better side, we were still in it the last 20 minutes. So I don't think it's as big a disaster as a lot of fans are saying.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't like us losing, but having said that, yeah, we could have nicked a point at the end. I don't think we'd have been worth it, but I think we could have nicked one, and we're third in League One. So
Yeah.
people having a meltdown, I think need to have a think about that for a moment. We've had some really good results this season. Pretty much everybody, apart from me, said at the start of the season we'd be happy with 10th. Everyone was, mid-table consolidation. Everybody was. Well, anybody who was saying that really shouldn't be complaining now because we're doing a hell of a sight better than expected. So, yeah, I was very disappointed with Saturday, but this team has earned more than earned a number of second chances. Uh, as Parkinson says, don't get too high when you do well. Don't get too low when you do badly. Try to keep an open mind. I've got to also say, and I feel bad saying this, but I'm going to say it. I think people who just automatically say a centre back for a centre back is not an attacking move aren't thinking about football enough. If I'm totally honest, just sticking a label on a player and then saying that player uh, is the same as this player. Well, I mean, O'Connell and Scar aren't. I mean, I like Scar. I think he's a sensational signing because he's done this at a higher level and this consistently. But he is an old-fashioned, no-nonsense, defend the box centre back. He's not going to look to make play, whereas O'Connell's genuinely good with the ball at his feet. As you said, Chay, that was a big, big difference in that triple change was that we weren't defending and just getting rid of it. We were defending and then counter-attacking because he was able to facilitate that. And I thought that notwithstanding that chance at the end when Olafe turned him and he tried to get sent off and missed him, thank goodness, because Burton as always came to the rescue. I thought O'Connell was really good in that third of a match that he got. So yeah, it's not it's a bit football's a bit
It's
more
November.
complicated. Sorry?
I was going to say it's November as well. There's a lot of season yet to go.
Yeah,
You
exactly. Yeah, too right.
know.
Well,
We're in League One.
Yeah.
As I say, if we look a little bit to the Exeter game, I'm not just talk about that now, but even if we don't get the result we want against Exeter, it's still not anything to worry about. We're in League One now. We're going to have dips of form, but it's really important that the fans keep the racecourse a fortress because as great as the racecourse is to play at when things are going well, it's equally is really tough to play at when things aren't going quite our way as well. So it's just a thought for the fans on Saturday. Get behind the boys.
Yeah, absolutely right.
I'd agree.
Yeah. As long as
Totally.
we're getting good results at the racecourse, then, well, as we saw last season, patchy away form, it's not what you want, but it can still get you promoted. So, yeah,
Mm.
absolutely
Yeah.
right. Absolutely. Let's draw a veil over all that nonsense, shall we? And in a moment, we'll talk about Wrexham scoring 10 goals. Right. Well, the men didn't do that well on Saturday, but thankfully, Sunday came along as a very quick dose of the hair of the dog. 10 goals out of Elin and fantastic momentum built up as we now get back into the league programme again. It's all looking good for Steve Dale's side.
Pitch play a part.
The pitch certainly played a part. It didn't help us. Oh, I say that. Oh, man. Look, firstly, and I really need to make this very clear, I don't really take it out of context. Clubs like Avel and Helly, like Cumbran, like Llanestundwy, who we've been visiting in the Cups recently, have not got much money to spend on their pitches. And considering that, I would say they're all, well, the first two were great. Okay, last Sunday's wasn't, but they're a men's game. A men's team played there on the Saturday, and then there was a terrific amount of rain from then until the start of the game and throughout the game on Sunday, and yeah, it became an absolute mud patch. It was a horrible pitch, but we played it ever so well. My thoughts beforehand were that a mud sort of flat like that may well favour Velen Helly because we can't move the ball around as well as we want to. But on the other hand, we've got terrific fitness, like I've said on numerous occasions. We've run Adran Premier teams off the pitch in the last half hour with our superior fitness. And on a pitch like that, they're going to tire earlier than we do. And that most definitely was the case. I mean, 2-0 at half time when we were comfortable, very comfortable. But 8 goals in the second half, and a lot of them coming in batches. We got 3 goals in just over 2 minutes at one point because we were just they tired themselves out and we were charging at them. And a great tune up for playing TNS on the Sunday because that feels like a huge game now to me.
I was supposed to ask you, do you think a lot of these sides who are amateur sides playing as a semi-pro side with fitness coaches and stuff, do you think, they can not match us, but give us a competitive game in the first half, and then, our superior facilities with fitness coaches and etc. really play a big part in the second half when we can just keep on going, where these other teams, are just amateurs playing. You think it makes a big difference?
100%. It makes a big difference against, like I said, the teams that aren't semi-pro in the Adran Premier. We come on really strongly at the end of games. So it makes a huge difference. I mean, that opens up a different debate, I think, about the FAW and how they develop the women's game. And I think they're taking a very conservative approach in having 8 teams in the top division because it sort of maintains that gap. You've got 3 or 4 strong semi-pro teams at the top. Then you've got the teams that are in relegation contention, sort of churning around with the divisions below. And I think it kind of limits the scope for clubs like that to really develop. Personally, I think that if you have 12 teams in the top division, I think that would be reasonable. And it would give some of those mid-table-ish teams more of a chance to establish something and play consistently against strong teams and improve. Because you look over the last 2 weekends, we've had the round of 16 in both cup competitions, and there's been one upset. Almost all the games were top division against second division. Everyone in the League Cup was, and there was one upset, which was Cardiff Met, the worst team in the Adran Premier, losing 1-0 to a team from the second division. And then last weekend, pretty much all the ties the same. The big top division teams away to lower division teams. There were some close results. Cardiff pushed their luck a bit in both competitions, but ultimately, in both competitions, 7 out of 8 are the top division teams. So there were some big scorelines, not just us as well. Britain Ferry scored 11 away from home, and they were like 5 up after about 15 minutes. So something has to be done, I think, to try and help the growth of the smaller clubs. And I think it's given them opportunities. Maybe it takes some beatings for a bit, but ultimately you improve personally. Um,
Yeah, I think it's a perfect opportunity now to really
mm,
for the FAW to really chuck some money at women's football because look at what the national side are doing.
mm,
Um, very close to qualification. It's Ireland, is it this end of this
yeah, yeah.
soon, isn't it? The Ireland game.
I'm not sure
Uh,
what it is, to be honest, but yeah,
but we win Tula's legs, and that's a Welsh women's side in the Euros, which is
yeah, yeah.
it's huge, isn't it?
Superb.
We've got Cardiff, we've got Swansea, and we've got Wrexham who are playing in a Welsh domestic league. I think it's time to really throw some money at the lower sides now and really develop the league as a whole and try and get it to a higher standard. I'm not saying I think whoever's in the Adrian Premier League are doing a really good job, but there's a big leap, isn't there, between the
Mm.
sides who are in the lower divisions compared to the sides who are in the higher divisions. So I agree, Mark. It's time to really invest. Things like the pitches being over muddy, etc. They need to invest in grassroots pitches in general for both men's and women's um, football grassroots. So, with Welsh football, men's and women's doing so well at this moment in time, I think it's really now time to really try and invest as much as possible in it.
I agree. Although, like I said, I want to stick up for Ravel and Helly in that they had 2 games in 2 days when there was torrential rain throughout the weekend. So, that's just life, isn't it? He's just got to live with it. There were points where I thought we might not get the game played beforehand. I was getting nervous. The ref and the linesman had a very late walk up and down the pitch, and I thought, "Oh no, we're here now. Please play it." Yeah, it wasn't great, but I was impressed by the quality of football we could play on it. To be fair, and I've got to mention Eva Suckley, who, oh man, she scores 2 early goals. She's looking for a hat trick. She thinks she's got it within half an hour, but it's rightly disallowed because Rosie Hughes is standing in an offside position and definitely isn't the goalkeeper's line of vision. She essentially almost steps over the shot, standing about 6 inches in front of the keeper, who then fumbles it. You'd have thought she'd save it. She did well there, Goldie Catherine Beach. And after that, Suckley was working hard looking for a hat trick, and he thought, "Oh, come on, let her have it." And she finally gets it in the end. The ninth goal or 10th goal was it? It was very late. She managed to get it and complete her hat trick. She was too tired to celebrate. She was absolutely covered in mud. They all were just covered in mud. And so the bizarre sign afterwards of Josh Evans, our assistant manager, having trying to clean it down, clean it with a hose before she went into the changing rooms because it just well, it was like Wrexham players in the 70s. It was quite the sight, but it was great. Rosie Hughes, it's in about fitness. My God, Rosie Hughes in the last 20 minutes was terrifying. She was so good, and the poor defenders, just managed to just about deal with her beforehand. But once the fitness differential really kicked in, oh, she was just sensational. Scored a couple and set up one and lots of chances as well. Went close a couple of times. It was great fun to see that, because she's not scored as many in a way. It's a bit like Paul Mullen this season as last, but she's starting to knock them in now. And yeah, like I said, TNS a big game this. They've had a brilliant start to the season. They're semi-pro, and they're a serious team, but we are playing well at the moment, and I'm excited. TNS then Cardiff. Well, we've got the right form at the moment to carry into those big games, and let's hope that we can look at the table in 2 weeks and say, "Oh, we're in the top four." This is looking a lot more like it.
4 points
That'd
out
be
of them
good to
two
be.
would be nice, wouldn't it?
Mm. Oh yeah, yeah. Six would be even better.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
this Cardiff and Swansea thing, the fact that we keep losing to them, it's got to end. We should have ended it a few games ago. We were better than them in both the league games this season. It's becoming a bit of a thing, which we don't want it to be. But man, I think I may have said this
they're a
last
lot
week.
more established, though, aren't they? They are a lot more
Yeah,
established sides.
absolutely. But I think I said last week I wanted to draw Cardiff in the quarterfinals because we're ready. Let's just get them. Let's get that strong team out of the competition because the way we're playing at the moment, we should be confident playing them. Let's draw them, and then you're in the semi-finals. and the worst scenario is a Swansea in it. So, yeah, tell you.
Yeah, of course.
Right, we'll be back in a moment, and Mount Rushmore's icons will be revealed. Right, so last week, man, I enjoyed it. We talked about our candidates. If we had a Mount Rushmore of Wrexham managers, which four iconic managers would make their way onto it? We said what we thought, and then we cast it out to you, the common public, in order to decide who would go on. There was corruption. I'm going to hold my hands up and say that, I watched the news. I know what modern democracy is, and you may want to demand a recount because I did make a sort of fundamental error and forgot to put Steve Dale on it. And then remembered and put him on, and he did get a few votes. So yeah, we may still be in a they're still counting the votes in California situation. Okay, just saying that. But
Electoral fraud.
absolutely, absolutely, it's a fix. Stop the fix. But I can
I'm
tell
not
you,
sure you should say that.
I'll get away with that one. Don't you worry. Don't worry. So the four people that we chose are Sam Ricketts, Brian Little. Oh, hang on. Sorry. That's a different poll altogether. Uh, Phil Parkinson was top. He had 88.5% of the votes. Woof. Now, second, Brian Flynn, 67.6% of the votes. Third, John Neal. He had 48%. I've just remembered, of course, you could vote for four. Otherwise, these numbers don't add up. And then fourth, Arvon Griffiths, 40.5. So pretty conclusive, to be fair. The next highest were Dennis Smith and Andy Morrell, were both quite close. 24.3% to Dennis Smith, just ahead of Andy Morrell. So, we've got a decent, roughly 15% gap between the top four and the fifth one. I think the mob have spoken, haven't they? It's Parkinson, Flynn, Neil, and Griffiths.
Has to be, doesn't it?
Happy with that?
Yeah, no problems.
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed how little votes Dennis Smith has got, in all fairness. But I am happy. I think it's what we agreed on at the end of the debate last week anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Pretty there or thereabouts. So, yeah. Yeah, of course, I'm happy. They're a great list of managers for the club. And I'd like to say is that if anyone has any suggestions for like any nostalgic sorts of topics that we can all discuss in the future, I think we're quite welcome to that, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been thinking about this myself. Yeah, I think maybe we should have a little look at doing this on a more regular basis. But certainly, yeah, that's a pretty emphatic result. I mean, I was disappointed in terms of Morel not getting in, the same as you with Dennis Smith, in that, like I say, statistically, Phil Parkinson's the only one who can compete with Morel in terms of win percentages, low loss percentages, you know. I think he was very unlucky. Won the FA Trophy, 98-point season, got us into the playoffs twice in 3 years. I think he did well, not 3 years even. He did exceptionally well. But what can I say? The public have their opinions, and as we've all seen in the news lately, sometimes those opinions can be wrong. No offense,
Well,
everybody.
well, yeah, I think both Ivor and Steve Dale as well will all feel not hard done by, but it's such a tough decision because legendary managers to the club, and Phil Parkinson getting such an emphatic vote is not a shock because I thought he was definitely stapled on, especially he's the only manager a lot of the new American fans will know as well, which will help him as well as being great. Yeah, it's very happy with the ones we picked that have been picked.
Well, I mean, yeah, absolutely. And Andy Parkinson, brother of Phil, Surely, yeah, it does show what a phenomenon he is. That he's done an astonishing job, and to get, like I said, 88.5% of the people who voted for him. Wow. I mean, that's a real endorsement of the job he's done, isn't it?
Yeah, without any doubt. I was always a bit suspicious when Parkinson came in, but he's done such a great job. He's got 2 promotions. What more do we want? Yeah. I
Yeah.
suppose the third promotion is the answer to that.
There you go, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
natural Parkinson suspicion of other Parkinsons. He's come onto your
Yes.
patch, and you're not
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
Shocking.
I won't complain if he gets us up again.
Yeah, too right. And Chay, you raised last week. Where are we going to put it? Have you had any thoughts since then?
Well, Neil said Minera, didn't he?
He did. I like that.
Uh, Minera could be great. I was thinking that that little that hill by Little Chef. Well, Little Chef was.
Yes.
What's that? What's that called? Is that roundabout? It's in Roestuchlin, isn't it? Middle of Roestuchlin and Johnstown.
I don't know. It's just junction
But
whatever
yeah,
3 off the A483, isn't it, or something? I
I,
didn't
I think
know that.
I think that would be a great place to put it as well.
Oh, do you mean the spoil heap?
Yeah, yeah,
Right. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. That's perfect. We could sculpt it out out of slag, which is the accepted word for what that is. It's the waste of a mind. That's the correct word. I'm not being offensive. Oh, yeah, we could do that, couldn't we?
yeah.
You see,
We
I was
should.
thinking of
It'd be, it'd be dramatic on the road on the way in, wouldn't it?
yeah, imagine the accidents it would cause
That
as
was
people.
carved into that hill.
I was thinking more along the lines of knocking down the student flats. Obviously, give them notice, and then building it out of the rubble. But I think maybe your spoil heap idea is an excellent one.
Yeah, I think so too.
And we can also divert the Gwenvro to go around it like a little moat, which of course would also provides drinking water for the people of Rostocklin because they don't seem to have any form of telephone reception there. And I think we should bring the modern world to them, bless them.
Tourism as well and all that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Another tourist attraction.
Yeah. Come and
Make a
see.
great episode for Welcome to Wrexham, wouldn't it?
It certainly would. What an impact we've had on the town. You can ride the raging rapids of the Gwenny. I think that might. I think we can draw a line under that now. The Mount Rushmore of
I think
Wrexham
so. Yeah.
has been decided, and I've got some fun to have making a thumbnail for this. So, um, let me introduce our guest. Now, this is I need to maybe give a little bit of context that this is an interview I did a good 15 years ago. I think I may have said this in passing last week. I decided about 20 years ago I wanted to write a history of the football club. I haven't written the first word yet because the research is just so fascinating. I knocked it off for a bit because I was too busy. Now I have not got that excuse. But luckily, I did do some interviews when I first had the idea. Some of the people I interviewed, like Ian Moyer last week, are no longer with us. But they gave a brilliant insight into what it was like to play for Wrexham in the past. I apologise for the slightly scratchy sound quality, but it was the past. So here, Wrexham's captain in the 1960s, an ex-Man United player who became a really beloved character here and still lives in the Wrexham area, so he enjoyed himself as well. These are some tales from Sammy McMillan.
Just thinking, I believe this. It was quite odd how you came to Wrexham. Is it Tommy Bannon?
Yes, Tommy Bannon brought me down. He was down here,
Yeah.
and I played with St Johnson, and I got a free transfer. And Wraith Rovers come after me, and I got a letter from Tommy asking me would I come down here. So, because I'd been at school with him, he was my mate at school, and we lived in the same street, and we'd been pals for years, so I said okay, so I come down and I've been here ever since.
And you made an immediate impact as well. You didn't miss many games for years after that, did you?
No, I didn't miss a lot. No, I was quite a regular in the first team, you know, and I loved it. You know, I loved it. And when I come down, I went to the pits, you know, and then the pits in Bersham, you know, I went to Bersham and I was there for 5 years in Bersham, you know, and playing, you know. So bad time, you know, it was bad time. And we'd come up the pit and play at night, you know, they had games at night, you know, you had to do it because you weren't on much money then, you know.
Must be
£12 a week when you're playing in the first team, £8 in the reserves, and £6 in the close season. So nearly all the players had to take a job, you know. Some worked in Brumber Steelworks, some worked in the factories, and some the building sites, you know, like they went to the building sites, you know, so some driving, you know, so they all had to have jobs to make their money up.
It must have been hard physically to work down the pits and play as well, is it?
Well, I was lucky. I wasn't on the face, you know. I was on the on course, so it wasn't too bad, you know. So. And the lads didn't give me hard work, you know. So they looked after me. So it was good that way, you know.
And I think you look at the way referees are now. It was a harder game then, I think, as well, wasn't it?
Oh yes, you couldn't hold people off the ball, you know. You couldn't hold them off, or it'd be obstruction. It'd be a foul straight away, you know. There was none of this pulling shirts or that. You'd been off.
And you were a strong player yourself, a fullback, weren't you? So
I was a fullback. Off a sort.
I was looking at some old comments, and I think it was one of your managers said you'd never seen a player clear so many shots off the line as you. You could read the game really well.
Oh, I cleared a lot. Yeah. I scored a few through my own goals as well. You know.
And a couple at the right end, wasn't there?
I scored two. I scored two. Two headers. One against Accrington. And I think it was Oldham was the other one, I can't remember. I think it was Oldham up here in the racecourse, and Accrington Stanley away. So I got us a draw in the both games.
That was good.
So we're quite happy.
And as well, I mean, you played against Busby Babes, didn't you? And that's
in
there,
1957.
So it must have been quite an experience, that, you know.
Oh, it was wonderful. It was you know, the crowd, you know, they were buying tickets in the reserve game, you know, and there was about 16 or 17,000 at the reserve game. But they were just going in, getting a ticket, out, back in, get a ticket. Some must have paid about 3 or 4 times just to get tickets, you know. And there were some good players they had, you know. It was a shame they get killed in that, you know, but we weren't bad for the first quarter now, but after that they murdered us, murdered us.
I saw a thing the other day about, I think it was Reading you played in the last round, and you knew before the replay you were going to be playing Man United, and so it was a real cup final, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, because they put the tickets up for sale. They said after the match the tickets will be on sale for the United match, you know. They didn't think we would beat them. But we beat them 2-1 2-0. Ron Hewitt and Johnny Anderson, they scored the goals, you know, but it was a great experience, you know. Before the match, before the match, when you're getting ready, Billy Waters, he couldn't tie his laces, you know. He was so nervous, Billy, you know. He was the goalkeeper. He was so nervous, and we were all in the same boat, you know. United. But it was a good experience.
My dad was in the crowd.
He would be.
He was saying it was like a one-way system, the whole town. They don't let the cars come up one way and down. The crowd was so big.
There was 35,000, 36,000 or something, you know. And it was great, you know. My brothers, they come down from Scotland, you know. I had them from Scotland, and They enjoyed the match, but as I say, we first quarter an hour we were okay, but after that,
they were a bit classy with it. Oops, right, that's that. And but you had success at your Wrexham. I mean, you got promotion, didn't you?
Oh,
Once,
two or three times,
yeah.
it was from the fourth to the third, and the
yeah.
third to the fourth, and up and down,
Yeah.
Three Welsh Cups, won
Yes,
3 Welsh Cups,
yeah.
And a losers.
Yeah.
Three winners and losers I've got.
I saw an odd little pattern. I think it was the first 2 years you won the Welsh Cup, and 2 years later you won it, but the one in between, Cardiff won 6-0 against Wrexham to knock us out. So that's a bit of a strange thing. To fashion like that.
But we weren't in Europe then, There was a shame because we had a nice side, we had a good side. Because we beat Cardiff and we beat Swansea, in the Welsh Cup, and it would have been nice if we'd have got in there, at that time.
Any players you played with who really stick out in your memory as?
Well, Alvin Griffiths was a top class player, And then was Ian Moyer. He was a character, marvellous winger, Don Weston. He was like a greyhound. He was Don. Alan Fox, centre half. Kevin Keelan, the goalkeeper. They had some good players.
And hoping to speak to Ian Moyer
in
a few days. He's living in
He's
Chester
in
now.
Chester, yes. I don't know his address.
I've made contact.
You've got it,
yeah,
have you?
Yeah.
Oh, aye.
But he was a real crowd pleaser, wasn't he?
He was good on the ball, And there was Clive Colbridge. Clive could always get you a penalty, He always he always fell in the box, so and got a penalty for us. And you had Tommy Bannon. He was a good centre forward, Big friend of your granddad's. Tommy's was because we were members of this club, the old club, Big pal he is. There were some tidy players.
Ron Hughes as well, of course.
Ron Hughes, yes. Ron was a Welsh international. He didn't get capped when he was with Wrexham. He had to go to Cardiff. And he died a couple of weeks ago, sad. George Evans, big strong lad, George, good player. He'd passed away and all. Johnny Anderson, ball player, good ball player, Johnny, and he passed away. So.
And you went through a few managers as well, didn't you? Peter Jackson first, wasn't it?
Peter Jackson was the first, and then Cliff Lloyd came in. Cliff was always the caretaker. He always took over when everybody else went, and then there was Johnny Love, Ken Barnes, Billy Morris. Billy Morris.
How did they compare? Did they have similar styles in those days, managers, or were they very different characters?
No, they were different characters, different. They didn't say much, you didn't take any notes. You see, once you go on the field, everything changed. You had to play your sort of own game. There were no tactics then days. You just go and you had to play your best and win the game, innit?
This was much more rigid then, the 2 full-backs and the
sometimes we weren't allowed to go over the halfway line. You got a bit of a rollicking if you went over the halfway line, because you should have been back. You're a defender, But I always used to sneak down now and again,
You did well to score 2 goals.
That's right.
I believe that you played as well in the 10-1 game against Hartlepool that a lot of people told me about as well.
Yeah, that was a
quiet afternoon.
Game then, wasn't it? There was three hat-tricks, I think, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Three hat-tricks.
They must have got dispirited by the end, wasn't they?
Oh, they were, yeah. You don't like to see any team getting beat that much, But I mean, they would have done the same to us, wouldn't they? If they could have done that, because I remember going to. Was it Northampton? I think it was. And they beat us 7 7-0 or 7-1, and they were shooting from 50 yards and they were going in like rockets, you know. Just one of them games, everything went right for them, you know. So I was saying, where they shot from it hit the back of the net. 7-0, I think we beat. Oh, that was a worst beating, I think. The team I was in, you know. You held your head in shame.
I was looking as well as maybe other cup games as well, apart from Man United. And I think you played Leicester when they were a first division team.
Yeah, we played them. We played them away. I think was it away? They had some good players. They had some good players and all, you know. And then we played Liverpool. Maybe it was 3-0. I think it was, you know. When they had a good team then as well, you know. They were top dogs then as well, you know. But there were some good games, you know.
Must be exciting, you know, playing with Wrexham and then getting to go to a stadium like Anfield as well. It's a great occasion for the players and the fans, isn't it?
I suppose, but I never went there. They played up here. I was on the racecourse. I was on the racecourse. On the racecourse. Because I think that was the time there was a snow. Was there snow there? And we had to clear the snow off the pitch. You know, they made us clear. They made the players clear the snow off the pitch and all that. Yeah.
Gosh, wouldn't expect that. These days they wouldn't have that.
No, they wouldn't. We had to shovel the snow, because I always remember I got the sack. You know, he sacked me because I was talking. I think it was Ken. I'm not sure who was the man. Ken Barnes, I think it was. I think he gave me. He said, "Get out," he said, because I was talking. Me and somebody else were having a chat, you know, and we were leaning on the shovel. So he flung us out.
And there's only another memorable cup game when he beat Blackburn. It wasn't Mickey Metcalf.
Mickey Metcalf, yeah, he scored the hat trick, yes, and came in winning the extra time. And I think was it extra time? I've got a bad memory. And Mickey scored the hat trick, Mickey scored the hat trick, and that was a big night for the Wrexham that night, you know. Made everybody happy, you know, and it made the town happy as well, you know. And we had a lot of good supporters, you know, a lot of good people were nice, you know.
It's odd how Wrexham always seem to be a good cup team, you know.
They've
a couple of good,
and it carried on, didn't it, over the years. Yeah, they always seem to have a good cup run, didn't they? You know, they beat some of the big top teams, don't they? You know.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
But your playing was cut short by injury against Watford, wasn't it?
Yeah, I broke my leg. I had a compound fracture, you know, and I was in plaster for about 12 months. Then it takes you another 12 months to get fit again, you know, but by that I was too old then, you know. I broke it when I was 33, so by then I was 35, innit, you know, so me playing days was nearly over, innit. So I went to Bethesda. I think I played 2 games there, Bethesda, and then I got offered a job looking after the floodlight lads, you know, Joey Jones and Mickey Thomas, Graham Whittle. So I took that, and then they made me groundsman, you know. I did a job as groundsman, but I didn't like that job.
No.
Yeah, didn't know enough about it, you know. I wasn't. I didn't know enough about it. And then I packed in, and I was steward to the Catholic Club here for a few years.
Joey was telling me a story. This is typical Joey. He and Mickey Thomas used to race each other up and down the floodlights when they.
They used to climb the floodlights and be sitting up there. You'd be looking for them, innit? And you'd say, "Where have them lot gone?" You know. And you look up, and they'd all be sitting in different floodlights. And then you race down. I used to be there. Then John Neal come. You know, John was here. When John Neal was here, they had to go to the tech. So there was all the Liverpool lads, Joey, Mickey, Bob Scott, and John had said to me, "Now go and see they go in the school because we're having some complaints, you know." So I'd watch, and you could see them get in the front door. Then the next thing, John would have a phone call to come to see whoever's the head man in the school.
Yeah.
Your players weren't here for the classes. Well, they come here. Oh, they might have come in the front door, but they're going out the back door and going home. 'Cause I'd see them going in the front door, I'd see them going in the front door, but they'd gone out the back.
Yeah.
And if they go away, they go for the day off. And John had to go and apologise, anyway. They stopped him going, and there was a waste of time them going, when they were doing that. They only went one day a week, and they were running off.
So you kept, so watching Wrexham a bit, did you, after you finished playing? Cause
yeah, so as I say, I was groundsman, and then my leg got awful sore. My ankle, and I went and got it fused, and got it fused, and then I was no good after that, I couldn't walk very well, so I packed everything in, and so that was it. But I enjoyed it. It was a wonderful game, a wonderful life, and I never regretted 1 minute coming down to Wrexham. It was marvellous, I thought, and I met some nice people, some lovely people, and I've been here ever since. Well, I haven't gone home,
Absolutely,
so it was great.
Well, you've been fantastic there. You've got lots of stuff I can use there. So
well, let's see if there's any more. You just ask, and I'll try and.
Oh, thank you.
I'll try and sort it out for you.
Well, that's brilliant. What I'll do is it's alright. I'll just set it running, see if it's working. Some of these flashy new things, they're not as easy to run as some of the old ones, really. But I just basically want to ask you about your time at Wrexham. I mean, you came in the years, was it Christmas Eve, I think you signed?
Christmas Eve I signed, 1963. Ken Barnes signed for Manchester United. And at first, I didn't know where Wrexham. I knew it was in Wales, but I didn't know it was as close to Manchester then. Well, it took a couple of hours in them days because there was no motorways as such. And I remember coming my first game. Ken Barnes came to my house in Manchester, picked me up, and he took me through the Wednesday for something to eat before the match. Well, I'd never been to Wrexham before because Ken came and signed me at United, and I couldn't eat anything, in the Wednesday. No. I just had a cup of tea, and Ken said to me, "Well, when you finish, come into the bar. I'll be in the bar." I said, "Fair enough." So I finished, it was about 2 o'clock, and I was nervous, like first game. Go in the bar, he says, "What are you having?" I said, "Well, orange juice." "Oh no," he said, "have a whiskey." "Do you guys? It's coming." I said, "What?" "Oh, we'd never dreamt of drinking before match in Manchester, even in them days, Well, I had a whiskey, I said, and he's introduced me to all these blokes at the bar, all the best. It's 3:15 kick-off in them days, like that. I thought, 3:15, where's the ground? I hadn't even been to the ground.
Yeah.
So anyway, he said, "Oh," he said, "let's get on." He said, "Right, I'll have another one. Do you want?" I said, "No, I don't want another one." Right, I said, "Am I playing?" "Oh, aye." He said, "You're playing." So he said, he had a quick one. "Come on then," we jump in this car and off we go through town. And you go through town off the race course, and a big crowd there. I don't know if it was Boxing Day or not. I can't remember. It was something like, it was Christmas Eve. No, it wouldn't be Christmas Day. No, I think it was Boxing Day. Anyway, you had Mole Road and stand there. So I get out of the car and everybody's talking. And I didn't know where I was. He said, "Right, go in there, go through there." He says, Down that turn left and left again. That's the dressing room. He said, "You're number 10, inside left." Oh, fair enough. And he goes. So I go in. I open the door, and the first thing that hit me was smoke. I think every professional player was sat round at Christmas time. They don't know who was playing. You see, and I couldn't. Haze of smoke. Well, at United, you weren't allowed to smoke in the dressing room. You know, I thought, what the hell is this? So I knew Peter Jones was there, and Reg Holland used to play for United, like, you know, and they were there. So, like, you know, all right. So I went over and I looked around. Oh, number 10 peg, like. So I took my coat off, and some wise cracker said, "Oh, you're playing then, are you?" You know, I turned around. Anyway, Barnesy came in. He just went, You, all out, go on, through them all out. I thought, oh dear. Well, we got beat 3-2, but we only had 9 men at the end because there was no subs in them days. And then I think we played them the next day at Shrewsbury and we beat them 2-1. And that's when I scored my first goal for Wrexham. I remember it well because I was running, I think Barnesy put me through. I was running the inside left position. I was muddy dead, Shrewsbury. And this I forget the centre half, he was chasing me. He kept saying, "Go on, hit it." And as I was running in the mud, kicking it in the mud, and as I kicked it this time, I just set up and I just hit it. He shouted, "Hit it!" And I hit it. I was top corner. I said, "Thanks very much." There was some great times. I had brilliant time at Wrexham. I didn't want to leave Wrexham when I moved because, well, the wife's from Manchester, we settled here, and I went to Southend after that. But my time at Wrexham, I love Wrexham. Well, it shows you you settled here, you know. And the people in Wrexham, you know, get on well with everyone, like, you know, and the wife does as well. She has a little hairdressing shop up in the village, you know, she's had that, but it's more or less a hobby, you know. And we love Wrexham, and the time I've had here on, I think even with United, I had a few years there, but I think this is the best time, you know. They were so nice, you know, good players, like Alvin Griffiths, like, and Chay, he didn't get picked for Wales till later on in his career. I never know. He got picked for I played twice for Northern Ireland when I was at United, and when I came here to Wrexham, I got picked for the under-23s against Wales. And Alvin was picked, but he was injured and he couldn't play, and that was a great match in Belfast. We drew 3 each, and that's when the Welsh team was just coming. The under-23s was Gary Sprake, Mark England, Terry Hennessy, all them were just coming through then, you know, to the great Welsh side. I don't think they have a Welsh team like that again, not for a number of years. But I knew all them lads, you know, like Terry Hennessy and Colin Green. Wrexham, you know, Wrexham lads, you know, and I knew them. And, I say, the time I've had at Wrexham was brilliant. You know, and as I say, it was some great memories of matches and that, you know, and fun and that. Well, Ken Barnes especially. Ken Barnes, he was a very good player, Ken, a player manager. But as I say, he was on his way out when he came here. But he was a great player, a great technician. But he used to argue with the crowds, you know. I remember once I got the ball, I was on the right wing, and where they come out now, this stand here, where they come out now, that was like the cow shed, you know, all the sheds, you know, right along there. And the crowd were getting on the Barnes, he always get on to him, like. Anyway, I get the ball, and Barnes, he gave me the ball, and I beat this man, I flicked it out the wing again, I went, "Give it now!" So, where's the ball? And he's there, and there used to be a little wall around the ground, and he had his foot. "I'm telling you, he was arguing with the crowd." And there's me running up the way, and the ball was for a throw in. His foot on the wall again, and he's arguing with the crowd. "I picked the team, and Smile is for the team." This is during the match. But we had some good players, but I don't know. And them days, like, we enjoyed the game, like, and we always wanted to win. But I think today's game, it's a lot faster, but I don't think the skills are. Because I look at players, even at Wrexham players now, you know, I don't go, very, very seldom I go. But when I go, like when I was brought up at Manchester United, like, and even now, even at United with Beckham and Giggs and that, 2 good players, and I'm saying, you know, but they can't, Well, back in the other day against Leeds, he used his left foot more than I've ever seen him using in my life. Because we were coached to, in the afternoons, if you're doing that, go back and kick with your left foot or your right foot, your weakest foot. But players, when this, it makes me really mad on the telly when it says, well, it was on his weaker side. They're on £50,000 a week. They shouldn't have a weaker side. You know what I mean? Dear, oh dear, we were on what, 15 quid a week when we, and you had to kick with both feet. You wouldn't get in the side. Like you had to play left winger, right winger, left back or right back, and you had to kick with both feet. Or you wouldn't get in the side. And there's little things like that. And I don't think Wrexham. I love Wrexham, but I don't think even all the time I played there and I've lived there, I don't think the club, I'm not knocking the chairman or anything like that, but I don't think the club, the head men at the top, like with Fred Thompson and all that, they don't have the ambition to get higher. But this is me speaking. I don't know. I know Prince Griffiths, he's put money in the club, and he can't keep putting it in. But I look at the likes of Crewe. We used to play Crewe here. We played Swansea here. They've all had a taste of the tap, haven't they? They've come back down, but we haven't. We got into the old second division. Remember years ago when Arvin was manager, and I said to Arvin, we went out. He phoned up. We went out and we celebrated. It wasn't nothing to do with Wrexham, but I was pleased for Arvin. There we had dinner and that, and having a laugh. And I said to Arvin, what do you want to do at the start of the season? I said, you want to go in and ask the chairman for £1 million? I said, really, there's a lot of money in there. I said, you want 4 good players, old players, but not too old, experienced players. Get in there and get in the first division. I said, if you get in the first division, you get that £1 million back in the season. It would be full to the rafters here, wouldn't it? Like in them, you had the 2 Manchester, you had the Liverpool, Everton, you had Wolves at the time. It'd be a full house, and then the London clubs coming up, wouldn't it? You'd have a full house there every week, and you get your money back through the gate. He said, no, I think I have the team to get into the first division, but what happened now? He started selling them. And that really hurt me. And I thought, gee, they're there. Let's push. They get into the first, just for a season, and just experience. But this is what I say. For me, I don't know. It might be me and my way of thinking. They've got no ambition. You know what I mean? They get higher. And they should. I went down with the United game when that Gareth Owen, is it? Was invited down there. And I sat up in the stand and looked around. What a lovely ground this is now. Compared when I used to play, a beautiful little ground. And they had ambition. They had to fill that every week, 15,000. But it's just me, it really hurts me. That's why I don't go really. I thought never knock the team. I'll never knock a team because I don't watch him. So I can't say he's a bad player either. I never knock a side at all. I'm just the club. I'm a little bit disappointed at the club itself. A bit more push. And as I say, I'm not blaming the chairman like in the past, but I'd love this. To get in the. It's all right saying. Like Flynn, this is why I wasn't a Flynn lover. I don't know why. He done nothing to me. I only met him once or twice. But it was a laugh. Every start season, and if you could look back in the leader, the first week, the week they were starting, our ambition is to have a good cup run and get into the playoffs. Now, see, if I was chairman, I would say, I'll sack you. Your ambition is to win the league, not to get into the playoffs. But I used to say to my friend, what confidence does that give to the players? You know what I mean? We might get into the playoffs. That's finishing 6th in the league. Rubbish, you want to finish top of the league. Okay, you might finish top of the league, but you don't say our ambition is we'll have to have a good run and get into the play. No, your ambition is to win the league. You haven't kicked the ball yet, have you? And you're worried about the playoffs. I used to go every. I used to say to the wife, I'll open the leader tomorrow night, and there'll be our ambition is to get. And near enough the words every season was the same. Well, for me, if I was chairman, I would say, sorry, manager, you're sacked, because your ambition is to win that bloody league for all. That's the way I look at football. I'm old-fashioned and all that. That's
a
when
lot of fans felt the same way at the start of last season, because then he said the ambition is to survive.
Yeah.
And then people really got angry then.
Well, same thing. But the thing is, what confidence are you giving your players? Even if okay, I'm not saying I don't know. Even if they're a bad side, they'll go say, well, the manager doesn't think we'll stay up or something like that. So what's the use? She's like, no, we've got a good side here. They might be, but it gives players a bit of heart to go for it. I'm surprised at Joey. Joey's a keen lad, you know. Joey wants everything to go, but I don't think he got his head enough. I think there was two. Like it was Flynn and Reeves. I don't know why you have a manager and assistant manager at a club like this. They don't have it at Manchester United, do they?
No, it's true.
But as I say, my time in Wrexham, I loved it. I loved it. Didn't want to leave, but things didn't work out that way. I had to go. Because the manager thought I wanted to go, and I thought the manager wanted me to go. And when he found out, he tried to buy me back, but they wouldn't let me go at Southend. But we just bought a business in East Avenue. Well, partnership, a hairdresser. I lived in East Avenue in the bungalows here. And he came and he said, Southend wants to sign you, and he gave me the ticket. He had the ticket for me in the train. I said, well, if you want me to go, I'll go. And then afterwards he found out I didn't want to go, but it was too late.
I suppose the players then didn't have the sort of power now where they can do what they want now, don't they? Really?
But I'd love Wrexham all the time I played. The players like me,
I was looking, at the players sometimes, players like Andy McGowan was finishing off then, wasn't he? He was a tough character, wasn't he?
Alan Fox.
Yeah.
He was hard. He'd run through a brick wall on us. And there was Peter Jones, he came from Manchester United. He was a class player, Peter, very good player, And then we had Albert Dunlap from Everton, he came as goalie. We had some great characters, I tell you that now. But good lads, good to play with. Good lads.
Keith Webber was in front.
Keith he died, didn't he, when he was 40. Keith was here, wasn't he? And then when I finished at Stockport, Keith came, he had the last season at Stockport when I was there. Really good player, Keith. He had some rogues as well. But good road, you know what I mean, if it's such a thing, But, very good players, We had some young players coming through at the time, but they didn't seem to. I thought there's a couple of young players. Davy Grant was one. He was the only young lad from Liverpool, half-back. He was only small, but he was a classy player. But he got to that level. He got in the first team. He was brilliant in the reserves. I used to watch the reserves. He was brilliant watching the reserves. And he'd go a good player. Only small. But when he got into the first team, he just didn't hit it off. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't think he had the confidence to carry on. He's a nice guy. The reserves get when Ken Roberts was assistant manager with Ken Barnes. I went with him once had nothing to do one night. We were playing Bangor City at the reserves at Bangor. And Bangor, I don't think well before he retired, the Bolton Wanderers had a fullback, Tommy Banks. He played in the cup final against Dunfermline and all that, 53 or whatever it was, but he was finished then. And he was a Bangor, you see, real Lancashire, big lad, he'd kick anything, He'd tackle, he used to slide and tackle, you had the duck, because you'd take a hit, I'm not joking. So anyway, we were there, it was a filthy night, I was throwing it down, we all went in the bus, on the coach, had a good crack, we got there, little Alan Jones, Sam Dewey runs Brestwood, manager Brestwood, he was playing on the right wing with him. So we had no training or anything. Ken was there, I'd give him a hand getting the kit out and that, just fun. So Ken said, now listen you lads, it's a muddy pitch, I haven't got my boots with me. If anybody gets injured, make sure it's right on the touchline by me, having a laugh Anyway, the first little Sam outside, Tommy Banks left back. Little Sam, good little player. Little jiggy player, he run up the wing. Tom Banks came across, and he hit him. And he landed on Ken's knee. He did. And I was saying, Ken was only joking about that. And that's true. That had right in his knee. Oh, dear old days. It was things like that. We had a great laugh, funny time. as I say, we had some good games here, you know, some good crowds when I first came. Because we were coming from Carnarvon and, you know, behind our coaches used to be all lined up the whole road there. I think it was 19,000 the first game I played here. That was a lot of people, like. And then we played Fulham once in the League Cup. That's when I had a row with the committee then, because we were on crowd bonus at that time, and Fulham were in the first division, well, the Premiership, what they call now. And Johnny Ames was playing, and got a good side. And the fullback Cohen had played for England, and young Dave Campbell was outside left, give him a run round, and they beat us 2-1, you see. Well, it used to be 7:15 kick-off in them days at night games, so we always could tell, the players could tell it was a good crowd in the paddock, the old paddock on the Bowl Road there. When that was full, we knew there was a few thousand in the ground, see. Anyway, we got beat 2-1 and a bit disappointing, like. But we did well, got a good write-up in the papers now. Anyway, the next morning I go in training, like, and all the lads are sat in the dressing room, you know. I said, alright lads, alright, blood out bonus. I said, how much is it? Like, I think it was over 8,000, it was 10 bob, 1,000, and then a pound over, you know, 12,000 or something like that, you know. Amount something them days, like, you know. So, I think it was Avon said to me, Avon Griffiths, he said, did you see the crowd? I said, no, I haven't seen the paper, you know. And they always went with the Daily Post. So he said, look at that. And I looked at it, I said, well, can't tell you what I said. 12,001.
Oh.
I said, no, blew me away, you know. And nobody go in. I said, I'm going in. I went in. Dear old Cliff Lloyd, he used to live, the secretary, used to live next door, but two, Cliff, and John Lloyd, his son, and I went in the Cliff. I said, what the hell is this? I said, you know, 12,001. I said, impossible. We go with that, and that's it. I said, they closed the paddock gates at 6:45. I said, it was full. Must have been about 20,000 there. Anyway, I was on the way out to her. I said, well, you know, so and so. I slammed the door. I said, right, I'm not training, I'm going home. Didn't have it, was an absolute training after the game. So I'm going home. I was that annoyed, like, walking out, and Ron Chandler was the sports writer then for the Leader, big Ron, a lovely man. He was coming in through the door. Oh, lucky Sammy, he says last night, you played well, all the lads played well. I said, you know, is it worth it? He said, oh, what's wrong? I said, how many do you think was there last night? I said, you've been writing about Wrexham for years. I said, how many? Oh, he said, couldn't say, but he said, well over 20,000. I said, no, 12,001. You what? I said, that's what we were getting paid on. Well, he wrote in the Leader, I think it was on a Monday night, and he wrote the write-up, and then it was a Friday night Leader, a big Leader on a Friday night. Anyway, it was still going on, Friday night, and he wrote in the end about the Fulham game. He said, oh, by the way, it's the biggest 12,001 crowd I've ever seen at the racecourse. You see?
Yeah.
He was banned from the coach for a month. Aye. But I don't know, about 2 weeks later, because I kept it going on and on, we got a mystery bonus in there. Nobody knew what it was for. All the players that played that game, there was a mystery bonus, and we don't know what it was for. But I think we do.
I think so.
You know, things like that, you know. But it lives in your memory, you know what I mean? Oh, it's great. And then when I knocked the fella out, this archer he played for Crew, we used to have a kick, you know, each other, like, but he was a dirty bugger, he used to kick me from behind and that. And this game I was playing sweeper, and he used to play like midfield up front, you know, and he wouldn't come up to me because Griffiths he was kicking, I was shouting, come up here, and he's here, you know, that's it. I said, I love you, you know. Anyway, playing, and I haven't had the ball in the halfway line, I can see it now. And he's going around, he beat this Archer, I think his name was Archer. And as he beat him, he went back, he just kicked the legs from him. He was only a small chap, like, you know, and he went up in the air. And he was, like, we're all mates, like, you know. Well, that was it, I lost it. And I ran down the pitch, and everybody was around having, you know, he was there, like, and let him have it. Like, down he went, you see, and it was mayhem. And somebody said, "You better just go back to centre half." So I went back to centre. As I was going back, the linesman was looking at me. I thought, well, I'm off, you know. So I stood there like that and put this archer up, his eye was bleeding out there, and they're all pointing at me. And I was on the ground. Old Jack Jones, God bless him, he was a trainer. He was giving Alvin treatment. Anyway, the referee then he ran the linesman. And I thought, well, I'm off here. I was looking at the linesman. So he get up, and he didn't know what to do. Because Archie was badly hurt. He got up and he gave Alvin the red card. Sent Alvin Griffiths off. But lucky enough, everybody in the ground seen what happened, and the Welsh selectors were there, looking at Alvin for the Welsh game, and everybody. Well, he didn't get suspended because everybody knew it was me had done it. Only the referee, because everybody seen it in the ground. Only the referee, and I haven't got away with the suspension. But things like that happens. We all helped each other. You know, we stuck up for each other. We might have been the best side in the world, but we stuck up for each other. There was a lot of. I don't know. You know, we had our arguments like on the park and all that. But afterwards, we went for drinks and have a pint, and that was it. You know, we used to take our wives out. You know, all the lads and their wives on Saturday nights. We used to go to the Red Lion Mark Wheel in them days. That was one of the end pubs. Believe it or not. But you know, it's nearly 40 years ago, isn't it? But as I say, it was my time. I loved it. Well, I still love Wrexham, but playing there, I think within United and the teams I've played for since, I think Wrexham was my favourite club.
That's nice.
I love the place. Like, you know, as I say, I don't go, but as I say, I'm not blaming the team or anything like that. But I don't think there was enough ambition from the club itself to get. Well, you've supported Wrexham for a time, haven't you?
That's right.
You've seen through thick and thin. I used to go when I was working, when I finished playing football. I used to go down and watch the games, you know. But I thought, come on, even when they're in the second division, and they played some, you know, there was nothing there, you know, push, and then they start selling all the good players, didn't they? Like, and that was it. Billy Icecroft and all that they were going, didn't they? Well, Johnny Neal went to season before, didn't he? Yeah. And Alvin took over, didn't he?
And Shinton and Thomas went, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then money, didn't they?
Yeah. And then Joey went to Joey.
Yeah.
Joey went.
And came back and then went again.
Yeah. But I knew what Alvin was on about. He had this team there, but I thought, and they bought some bad players. I'm not saying Alvin Griffiths bought them.
Yeah.
Somebody bought some bad players. Bought a lad from Aston Villa. He was a good player, but when he came here, he was bad knees he had.
Cowardice.
That's it. Yeah. He was a good player, but when he came here, his knees were knackered.
Yeah.
And he came here for a good screw as well. I don't think I would want him for you, but I would, don't put that on.
No, I ignore that.
But things like that. But as I say, I love the place, The club. I went down the other night, like when I was invited. I was away. It was my 60th birthday in September, and my wife, for a surprise, takes me away. She said, "You're going away. I'll take you away for a holiday." So very nice. And I love Cyprus, And I thought, Cyprus. So Tuesday morning we were going. The lad was taking us to the airport. He said, "You want to know where you're going?" I said, "You're putting the labels on." He said, "Las Vegas."
Wow, brilliant.
So I couldn't believe it. It was brilliant, So when I came back, there was a letter from the chairman of
Carol Clark.
And I thought, I'll phone him up and see. So I phoned him up. I said, "Listen, I've been away on holiday like that. I said, this is the invitation to." "Oh, thanks very much," he said. "Looking forward to see you on the flight." So I went down. I was really surprised, the table I was set at, they knew everything about me, this lad, you know. They must have read up about me. Knew when I was a young lad in Belfast, like when I played for Arge, Newton Arge, well, it was Arge they call it, and George Eastham Senior and George Junior, before he went to go to Arsenal and Newcastle and all that, he was playing. I played with him when I was 14. His dad was a great player, and young George, he was a very good player, and they knew all about that. Really shocked. It was nice. I really enjoyed myself. And I've seen friends again.
It
was nice to see.
It was nice, and they brought all the players, introduced them.
Well, we didn't know. We all thought we were sitting together, but they said no, one at each table. And Ian Boyer was there. Ian's a lovely lad. I see him. He goes to the United Dues, and when we see each other, like, he starts talking about when we were on the ground stuff at Manchester United. Carries on the conversation, you know. Like, he was a great player for Wrexham, and Johnny Neal, manager too. Some nice people there. And old George Shell up there, the old mate up the road.
Oh, he lives on the corner, doesn't he?
He lives just up the road, George. He's a nice man, George.
And he puts a lot of time in with the club, didn't he?
He did, and they did well. It was Mr. Flynn that done the dirty on George, I'll tell you that now. That really upset me. I was going to go down and see him, because George was coming up to pension. They could have kept him on. He did the physio. You know something, George Shaw? I don't think a lot of people know that. He used to give the players treatment morning, noon and night. Saturday night after matches, he didn't get home till about 9:30, 10 o'clock. Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, to try and get them fit. You know, he never got any extra money for that. And that man lived for that club. He did. He lived for the club, and it broke his heart. But he only had a couple of years to go to get a full pension off the FA, and it just dropped him. They could have, okay, he wasn't qualified as a physio. I agree there, but they could have kept him on as a skip man or something like that. He was something, you know, just helping out. And he wasn't on a fortune. I know. I was surprised what he was on. You know, he would get better working on the bloody road.
Not as a coach. I mean, he was experienced.
Yeah, I know. Well, he took over manager after Bobby Roberts or something, and they did well. Best run they had all that season. You know, he was a good lad. Well, I see him quite a lot. So I don't know if I'm talking a lot of nonsense or anything.
That's fantastic. I mean,
but. As I say, it's brilliant, Wrexham, you know. I love Wrexham. I'm just a bit peeved about the team, you know, getting up there. I don't know if this Dennis Smith will do anything, because he's come in and first few matches, right, you always get that with your manager, but don't forget you're still the same players, aren't you? Right, he can lift them that bit more, which he seemed to have done. Like, did he go on Saturday? What was it like?
It wasn't as bad as the score.
No.
I mean, we scored first.
Yeah.
And we looked not as good as them. Like, it wasn't a great game, frankly. But then their equaliser was a penalty, and it wasn't a penalty. Full-back slid in and saw the lad had overhit it, and he pulled out. But the lad dived, and the ref didn't give it, but the linesman on that side gave it. And I saw it again on TV, and he pulled out the tackle, he didn't touch it. And then straight started to say, some of those, I make terrible excuses for Wrexham, but start of the second half, I'm
not there. I should not please you with myself. Now I come home now and told him, I said, you're not there, come on, he's dropping me. No, fair enough. Not even in the reserves, I said, that's it, I'm asking a transfer. Get away from here. Anyway, on the Friday morning, on the Saturday morning I get up. I always had a bet in Walton and Mason's downtown there. That was the bookies there. I went down, picked my horses then. I went down and in the bookies, well, if you ever wanted to see Ali McGarn, you went to the bookies. That was his office. So Ali was in there. Aye, alright, sorry, alright. Albert Dunlop was with him as well. He was dropped. Anyway, talking away. He said, what are you doing now? I said, I'm going. Oh, he said, come to the Catholic Club. I said, it's too early. I said, it's only about 11 o'clock. He said, it's only 11 o'clock. I said, he said, Lawrence used to be the steward. It was Ollie's landlord. He had Lawrence there. He's, anyway, we go in there. What do you have? And I said, I'll have a pint of lager. Anyway, there's something wrong with the lager, the gas or something. So we were playing snooker. So I said, what do you have now? I said, I'll have a lager. Well, there's no lager. Oh, he said, I'll have a vodka and lime. I said, right, 3 vodka and limes. No, I tell a lie, 2 vodka and limes. Ollie always drunk Harvey's Bristol Cream. Sherry. Drinking away with friends, drinking away, playing snooker and that. So anyway, I said to Ollie, what time was it? He says, it's 3 o'clock. Well, but I'll go down and watch these today. Yeah. So I jump in the car and after no drink drive. Yeah. I was only down the road, like, and as I say, there wasn't many cars on the road. I drove down, drove in, walked in the players' entrance through there. And Johnny Anderson was saying, "Where the hell have you been? We've been up to your house looking for you." I said, "What?" He said, "You're playing." Oh no! I said, he said, "The boss wants you." And Barney like, "I'm not well. You're playing half-back. I never played half-back in my life." And then days, like, you're playing right half my position. I said, "I don't want to play." "You're alright, boss. I was bad last week." That's right. And I said, "Oh, you're playing." And when I walked in, the lads knew, I'd been drinking. Like, they got me in the shower, give me a cold shower and everything. You're alright. Anyway, we did get beat. We drew 1 each with Oxford. And I remember, I think, I'm not 100% sure. Big Ron Atkins was playing for Oxford at the time. Anyway, the ball, we was on the attack and I was running around like a headless chicken, so the lads told me after the match. And I ran through for this ball, through ball, and the keeper came out and I didn't kick it, but he made a thing off it there and this run. "Hey ref," he said, "you better watch, he stinks of whiskey." I said, "No, it's not, it's vodka." I'll never forget that. And then after the ball went out, just by the Mole Road where we used to run out, I went for I looked up and out there was Ollie and Albert Dunlap stood there and were like this. Point out. Anyway, they found out about it. I got fined 25 quid. It was a lot of money. I was over a week's, about a week's wages then. Deserved it. Like, it was other things. I shouldn't have done it, but he told me I wasn't playing, so that was it. Like,
had no choice, did you?
And then the next thing he changed his mind, I was playing. So
excellent.
That was great.
That's a cracking that is.
But that's true. I was wondering Ollie didn't tell me that. And I always say that. Like, Charlie Morris, he didn't play. Charlie was the groundsman for years, and he came looking for me. He didn't know he was round town looking for me. Sent him round town looking to see where I was, so he could see me. Dear.
Oh, Sammy McMillan, the tales he told. What a brilliant character. Really, really fantastic. That rolls back the years. I need to go and see him again, don't I? Well, big triple header coming up now next week, isn't it? As we can hopefully get that form going and put Stockport well behind us.
Yeah, it'd be good if when we're doing the next one of this, we're celebrating 2 wins.
That would do me just fine. Absolutely.
Huge game on Saturday. Again, just get the fans. Let's get the fans behind the team. At home, we are a fortress. So, yeah, I'm really confident that we can turn things around.
Nice one, excellent. Right, so I'm going to go off now and take my trowel to Roestucklin and start carving out the head of Phil Parkinson. That's
Expect it done by the weekend.
I'll do my very best. I promise. Right, so that was Final Whistle Weekly.